Hey everyone, it's Xant. So, the new patch just dropped. Let's do what we normally do. First thing we're going to do is take a look at the welfare unit that they've added here in the heavy weaponry, Heavyarms. So, the head. What do we got? Oh, that's really good shot attack for a welfare head. Okay. And magazine boost, that's not really that big of a deal, honestly. You might get like maybe 1 or 2 extra shots out of your gun, maybe 3. It's not really worth it, in my opinion. But that's a pretty good budget head for a 3-star for shooters. Let's take a look at the chest here. Yeah, okay. So that's a damage type. At first look, right, the chest mounted Gatling, I thought it was going to be one of the Vulcan types where it reduces resistances, but alright, just a damage type, A-, C-. Okay, it's pretty good. Decent armor, relatively high shot attack for a chest. Okay. Cool. Arms. Got another EX skill. So this one is actually loaded up with EX, which is nice. Okay, the acrobatic. Lowers enemy Gunpla melee by... Okay, cool. Not really that useful. There's a lot better selection for arms for shot. Physical melee skills don't really help that much, and this obviously won't be very good for a melee build due to the stats distribution. It's kind of an eh. It's kind of weird that the arms have the missile packs, but they didn't make this like a missile EX. Whatever. Now the legs. Should probably max that out. Okay. Long shot attack raised. Okay, that's not actually that... Oh, hold on. Okay. So if you ignore the lower stats on this, that part trait could actually be pretty good as a budget leg for shot. Long shot attack raised by 14% at max. Easy enough to max. It's a welfare. Okay. So a decent contender for a free-to-play budget leg if you don't have really anything for shot attack, just due to the trait alone. The backpack, the beam Gatling, I should max it. A- D, okay. A little less than average spread, because typically it's A and D or D and A, but I guess it is a 3-star welfare, so having it slightly lesser is kind of understandable. You can move while firing, cool. Counts as a beam shot, okay. And the specs are, well, yeah, they're backpack specs. Okay. And then the actual beam Gatling itself. Integrated. Okay. Relatively decent shot attack for a 3-star. Magazine, another magazine boost. So, looking at all the parts for the Heavyarms, there's a couple standout parts for budget players. None of these I'd really say are great, but for a 3-star welfare, yeah, there's some good ones in here. If I were to say get a gold for a specific part, I would probably recommend the legs, just because the trait is really good for long shooters, and you know, it's difficult to find legs that have a good trait for shooting. But if you don't want a long shot, like let's say you're using a mid shooter or an outrider maybe, I'd probably suggest the head or the chest. What was the chest EX skill again here? The chest, yeah, the shot. So I'd probably, yeah, if you don't have a good head with shot attack, go for that. If you want an EX skill, go for the chest. That'd be my recommendations for it. But it is a welfare. At least, you know, the people that like Heavyarms didn't get totally screwed, because altogether as a welfare, Heavyarms is pretty good. So at least it has a focus to it, unlike some other suits we've seen. So next up here, Trowa. Okay. Magazine boost. Man, what's with these magazine boosts, man? I guess it makes sense, but... Okay, he actually has... See, okay. The thing is, with pilots in this game, is their stat distributions are so weird. Sometimes they'll have mismatching stats for what they're kitted for. So this guy here as a mid shooter actually has very decent shot attack for a 3-star. He actually outperforms a lot of the 4-stars for this kind of stuff. I'm going to say he's a pretty good pilot. Selena McGriff, the one that we had with the Stargazer with the last Sokai, I'm pretty sure, she actually has some amazing shot specs to it. And then there's obviously Kigali as well in the arena. It's whatever your flavor of pilot. But he's pretty okay, I'd say, as a welfare. Definitely pretty okay. Then we have the capsules that... Oh, we have a marble paint job. Cool. Okay. Pretty standard shop. Alright. And there's our premium material exchange. I made a video about that already, so if you want to go watch that, is one I uploaded just before this. It'll kind of give you an idea of what you could pick. I wouldn't take it as a Bible, because we did kind of miss a couple of parts, and it is a very subjective list. But I think it's a very good outline to just kind of help you on your way. Alright, now on to the actual stuff here. Let's take a look at the gacha units. Oh boy. Alright, let's take a look at the unicorn. What do we got? Almost 3k shot attack on the head, and he has a head-mounted Vulcan. Okay. That's respectable, for sure. Yeah. What about the chest? NTD. Okay, so that's a very typical awakening, 20%. Okay. And, oh, the specs are really nice, though. I like that melee shot spread. Okay, so that's some good offensive stats on the chest. It is a Sokai, though, so we should expect the parts to be markedly better. Almost 3k melee attack, 1300 shot attack, so that's a pretty good all-rounder. Okay, so that comes with a heal, your shot attack gets boosted, and beam resist boost. Okay. Those are very good arms. Wow, okay. Even as a shot, like, that might be useful to get just because of the boost. Actually, of your squad, these would be really good on an allied machine if you're shot. They'd be good on you if you had an allied machine with shot. That's my opinion of them. But the stat distribution is really nice on them, so... The legs with speed attribute, special shot, power boosted by 30% or whatever percent. Cool. And it has decent stats as well. Good distribution. Really high melee, actually, all things considered. 960 odd. Backpack. Double saber rush. Okay. Cleave through enemies with sabers in each hand. Again, good stat distribution on these parts. Wow. Okay. The Unicorn Beam Saber, initial EX skill charge boost. Okay. Very high melee attack on that sword. Nice. Man, these are some great parts. Beam Magnum. Alright, this is kind of the showpiece here for this machine. Special shot power boost when your armor's 40% or more. Couldn't really ask for much more than that, I think. That's... yeah. I guess we could, ask for, like, just straight beam damage up, but I think that's being a little greedy. Okay. Is there a shield? There's a shield, right? Ooh, there's a bazooka and a shield. Okay, so the Kshatriya has, like, no parts to it. With speed attribute, shooting power reduced, okay. Decent shot attack, a little bit of melee. What are you gonna beat him with the turret or the body of the launcher? Okay. All right. And the shield. What's this? When armor's 40% or more, EX skill output. Okay. And okay, so that's another shield that has offensive, really high offensive stats to it too. Okay. So. If I'm going to render judgment on the Unicorn, I'm going to say pretty much every part in this has use somewhere. Very nice stat distributions on everything. It has decent enough traits and EX skills. If I were to recommend parts, though, purely, The head is pretty good if you get it for a shot build, but I wouldn't go out of your way for it, because what you can select with the premium parts is better than that head, unless you want it for aesthetic reasons. I can't blame you, it looks pretty slick. The NTD, your typical very powerful awakening, if you get that, fantastic, looks like a good part. We have the Beam Tonfa, which, like I said, this is a very well-rounded part. You have some melee, you have some shot in there, it's pretty good. There are better parts available for both of those options, but this is still a very nice piece. The Beam Tonfa just adds to that with a very good buff. I just find it a little weird that the arms are more kitted towards the melee side when this gives a shot attack buff. So I think that would require a little bit of playing around in a build to really make it shine, but in general it's a very powerful part with options available for both types of builds. The legs, again, it just has really nice stats on it. Same with the backpack. Even though the traits kind of leave to be desired, the traits on them, or the stat distribution on them is really nice, right? Like, this is just like a straight damage ability, but it doesn't matter because, as you know, stats. It's kind of the end play here, just stats. The Beam Saber, yeah. All in all, pretty much the entire unicorn, in my opinion, all the parts are really good. The chest stands out as a really good piece. The arms stand out as a pretty good piece. The legs have really good distribution for legs. The Beam Magnum looks really cool. And the shield, in my opinion, is amazing because it's one of the few shields in the game that has offensive stats to it. So, and obviously the trait kicks in for anyone. It's a neutral type trait, so bonus. Now, on to what I'm wailing for. Please don't be bad. Kshatriya. Oh, whoa. Let's take a look at that scale here real quick. So that's what the unicorn looks like. Oh, so the Kshatriya is like actually bigger. Oh, I'm gonna be tilted if I don't get all these parts. Okay. So, whoa. Oh, that shot attack. No armor though. Well, you're not supposed to get hit as a long shooter. When attacking with beam, long shot. Okay, cool. Alright. That's a good shot head. Just don't get hit. What do we got with the body? The chest mega particle cannon. Yeah. And your beam resist goes up too. A and D. Alright. And the stats on it, melee and shot. Nice. Okay. Take a look at the arms. And they have an integrated shield, the binders. Yeah, to be expected. Man, those things look ridiculous. And this has the funnels. Okay. Strike foes in every direction. You can, okay. Lots of armor. Okay, cool. Melee and shot. I guess, yeah, for shot attack, that's pretty high for arms. Okay. Yeah, the unicorn arms has like really high shot on it. I just don't really know how to feel about it, considering it also has like the melee split to it. So I'd say the unicorn arms are kind of better than the Kshatriya for just raw shot stats, but I don't know. I guess it depends. Like, I like the aesthetic of the Kshatriya arms more. It's just a favoritism thing. Don't mind me. And the legs, okay, shot attack, and a long shooter, you reduce enemies melee. So, although, like I said, with the head having no armor, you don't want to get hit, so I don't know how much use that trait's actually going to get when you're playing. Okay, so looking at the Kshatriya overall, I like it. I like the fact that it's actually bigger than some of the other suits. The funnels look like something really fun to play with. The chest make a particle. What was the letters on that? A and D? Okay, so it's your typical beam. Okay. And, okay. So, if I were to recommend parts from the Kshatriya, if you're going to roll, the head looks really good for a shot machine. You just have to make sure that you make up for the lack of armor on that part, because, you know, 0 armor. The chest looks pretty cool. There are better chests available for shot, but aesthetically, looks great. The arms look really cool. Integrated shield. Stat distribution looks pretty good for arms. It has higher than average. The unicorn arms having like over 1,000 is really above average. But typically arms have something like anywhere from 500 to 700 shot or so, and then they kind of scale up higher than that. So, yeah, I'd say those are pretty good stat distributions, plus the shield. Okay. And legs, Yeah, I guess like you do need the long shooter job, but this is what the suit's designed for. Overall, I'd say the Kshatriya looks like pretty nice. It's only 4 parts too, so you can make up a lot of those points as well. What the heck? Huh, I'll look at that later. Alright, let's look at our pilots. LP. With technique, vernier, well, no, garbage. Vernier, that's your thruster. I don't personally think there's really much use in that. Like, I guess maybe if you're infighter, but her stat distribution as well, being mostly for shooter, just doesn't really seem like it'd play well. Good stats though for a long shooter 3-star, a lot like Trowa. Difference is Trowa is in the event shop and you can get them for free. This one not so much. And lastly, Shinn. What did they do to my boy? You are a outfighter. Initial EX skill charge boost, 15%, just flat. Cool. Decent melee and shot. I would argue he's a very good pilot. Just stat distribution, looking at the armor values, the offensive values, and the job. You're definitely not losing out if you get him. As I'm pretty sure he's limited because he's Sokai. Yeah, he should be. Sokais are limited. I don't know if I'd recommend rolling for him because there are other pilots available in the normal pools that are as good or outperform him for his role. But if you like Shinn, you're definitely not being shafted, so to speak. All right. Now normally this is where I'd cut it off, but I want to look at the Sanakapool. Let's take a look here. What do we got? Okay, so that is really high shot attack. Oh, okay, because it merges the head as well. So that's actually really lackluster then, because you're pretty much dividing it by 2, which means about 500 per part. Not really that great. It is a 3-star though, and EX skill Pierce boost. Okay. Nah. What do we got in the arms? Sana's signature rabbit spike. A+, C-, okay, that's pretty good. Heal and shot defense up. Not sure how to feel about that. Melee attack's pretty high on them though. as ridiculous as they look. Okay. Viable side meta for melee, I guess. Slap them with the Sanakapool. And the legs... belly beam. Okay. I don't know how to explain this, but that cannon definitely did not look like it was in the belly. Watch when it rotates around here. I don't know if I'd call that the belly, but you do you. Anyways, what do we got? B+, C-? Yeah, okay. Stat distribution's pretty average. Okay. I don't think anything in here is really standout. The arms are pretty neat, though. I definitely say the arms are pretty neat. What's the rate in here? 100%. Of course. No idea how to get the Sanakapool coins. I'll look into that later. Anyways, so with that, I've finished the overview video for the new stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record myself doing my rolls, because as you can see I have 30,000 Haro chips, and there's a Kshatriya on the gacha just begging for me to roll it. So expect to see that very soon. Peace out. I'll see you shortly.